Welcome to Seeds of Thought. Today I want to start with a question that might sting a little. When life hits you, unexpected bill, disrespectful comment, deadline, bad news, do you react or do you choose a move? Because most people don't realize this. They're not losing because they're weak. They're losing because they're predictable. And what makes you predictable is one thing. You keep letting the moment pick your behavior. Your mood decides. Your fear decides. Your frustration decides. Your cravings decide. Your anxiety decides. And then you call it life. But strategic thinking is the moment you finally say, no, I'm not giving my steering wheel to the next emotion that shows up. Strategic thinking isn't about being cold. It's not about being manipulative. It's not about turning life into a chessboard where you're trying to outsmart your friends. It's simpler than that. Strategic thinking is the ability to pause, see, and choose. It's the ability to make one decision that prevents 10 problems. The ability to make one conversation count. The ability to make one habit pull your entire life forward. Because here's the truth. Nobody says out loud. A reactive person is easy to control. Even if nobody controls them. The world controls them. The algorithm controls them. Other people's moods control them. Pressure controls them. But a strategic person moves different. They don't just handle life, they shape life. So if you're tired of feeling like you're always responding, always behind, always putting out fires, this is for you. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a strategic mind in real life. Not theory, not motivational slogans. A way of thinking that makes you dangerous in a calm way. A way of thinking that makes your next year feel like it has a driver again. Let me describe the moment where your whole life changes. It's not a big moment. It's tiny. It's the split second between stimulus and response. Somebody says something that triggers you. Your phone buzzes. You get an email that feels disrespectful. You feel that rush. And right there, right at the edge, you normally do what you always do. You shoot back. You shut down. You scroll. You spend. You avoid. You eat. You procrastinate. You deal with it later. That's reaction. Reaction is fast. Reaction feels honest. Reaction feels like you. But reaction is usually just your conditioning showing up on time. Strategic thinking is when you learn to create a little space and you ask, what's the smartest move here? Not for my ego, for my outcome? That question is not soft. That question is not passive. That question is power. Because when you ask that, you step out of the fog and you stop being the type of person who gets baited into bad decisions. So here's the first rule you need to learn to live by. Number 1, the 3-beat pause. Not a dramatic pause. A 3-beat pause. Before you respond, you take 3 beats and ask, what outcome do I want? What outcome will my first impulse create? What would the strategic version of me do next? That's it. 3 beats. And if you practice that, you'll save relationships, money, time, and peace. Not because you became a different person, but because you became a person who chooses. Number 2, the big lie. I'm just trying to get through the day. Most people live like life is a hallway full of emergencies. They don't have a plan. They have a pressure schedule. They wake up and the day attacks them, and they spend the day defending. Here's the danger. When you live like that long enough, you start believing something. I'm not the architect. I'm the firefighter. And firefighters don't build. Firefighters survive. Strategic thinking begins when you stop asking, how do I get through this? And you start asking, how do I set my life up so I stop meeting the same problems every week? That is the whole shift. Because strategy is not only how you handle trouble. Strategy is how you design fewer troubles. Let's make this real. If you're constantly stressed about money, you can keep reacting, working extra hours, swiping the card, hoping it works out, or you can think strategically and ask, what system would make money calmer in my life? Not a wish, a system. If your health is declining, you can react, feel guilty, promise yourself you'll start Monday, or you can strategize. What routine would make health automatic? If your confidence is unstable, you can react. Wait until you feel motivated, or you can strategize. What does the confident version of me do on low motivation days? Strategy is not about intensity. It's about structure. Number 3, understand what strategic thinking really is. Here's the clean definition. Strategic thinking is the habit of seeing the situation clearly, deciding what matters most, choosing the move that improves your position, and adjusting as reality changes. That's it. Strategic thinking is position. Because the truth is, most of your pain comes from being in a bad position, wrong environment, wrong habits, wrong commitments, wrong people, wrong patterns, wrong time management, wrong self-image. You don't need a miracle. You need a better position. And strategy is how you reposition. So from this point on, I want you to start hearing life differently, not as good or bad, but by asking this one question: is this improving my position or weakening it? That question alone will change your standards. Number 4, understanding. Clarity is not motivation. Clarity is a weapon. Let me ask you something. If I told you, run as fast as you can, you'd ask, where? But that's how most people live. They hustle with no destination. They say, I want success. What does that mean? They say, I want freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom to do what? They say, I want to be happy. Happy because your life is aligned, or happy because you're numb? Strategic people don't rely on vague goals. They build a clear end game. So let me show you how. Write one sentence that tells the truth about what you're building. Examples. I am building a body I respect by walking 30 minutes daily and lifting 3 days a week. I am becoming debt-free by cutting my spending, increasing income, and attacking one balance at a time. I am building a digital income stream by publishing weekly content and selling one focused product. I am rebuilding my peace by reducing commitments and enforcing boundaries. So just focus on one sentence, because if you can't say it clean, you can't execute it consistently. And here's the next part. Strategic thinkers don't just dream forward, they plan backwards. Next, reverse the movie picture, the end result as a scene. You're holding the result, you're living it, you're standing inside it. Now rewind. What had to happen the month before? What had to happen the week before? What had to happen yesterday? Now your dream becomes steps. This is where the average person breaks. They want the end, but they never identify the sequence. Strategy is sequence. Number 5, information is not intelligence. Some people hear strategic thinking and they think it means learn everything, research forever, be perfect. No, that's not strategy. That's hiding. Information is only valuable when it turns into better decisions. Strategic thinkers don't collect facts like trophies. They collect what they need to move. So here's a simple filter you can use immediately. Number 6, the 3-filter research rule. Before you consume anything, video, book, advice, ask, is this relevant? Does this help my current decision? Is it recent enough? Is this still true in today's world? Is it reliable? Is this source proven or just loud? And then one more rule, your research must end in action, even if the action is small, because strategy is not knowing. Strategy is doing the next right thing with the right reason. Number 7, understanding why you keep losing the same way. Most people think life is random. It's not random. It's patterns. The reason you keep ending up in the same kind of stress, the same kind of financial pressure, the same kind of relationship tension, the same kind of procrastination spiral is because you keep repeating the same pattern. Strategic thinkers train themselves to see patterns early. They can tell when a week is about to go off track. They can tell when a conversation is about to turn toxic. They can tell when their mind is about to sabotage them, not because they're psychic, but because they pay attention. Number 8, audit your pattern. Once a week, ask, where did I leak time? What triggered my worst behaviors? What problem keeps returning? What's the earliest warning sign? What decision would prevent this next time? You're not judging yourself. You're collecting data. Your life is giving you clues. Most people ignore the clues, then act shocked when the result repeats. Strategy is when you stop being surprised by your own patterns. Number 9, learn the skill of anticipation, because it's the skill that makes you calm in chaos. Let me give you an image. Most people walk into life like they're walking into a room with the lights off, and then they bump into furniture and call it bad luck. Strategic people turn the lights on. Anticipation is the practice of thinking, if I do this, what happens next? Not in a fearful way, in a positioning way. Number 10, examine the possible consequences. Before any significant move, ask, What are the next 3 likely consequences of this? Not 30 consequences. 3. If I say yes to this project, what happens next? If I ignore this issue, what happens next? If I keep eating like this, what happens next? If I keep spending like this, what happens next? This is how you stop making decisions that feel good today and punish you tomorrow. Number 11, understand timing. When to move, when to wait, when to prepare. Here's a hard truth. The right move at the wrong time can still destroy you, and the wrong move at the right time can still work long enough to trap you. Strategic thinking is learning the difference between waiting because you're afraid and waiting because you're preparing. Patience isn't weakness. Patience is often positioning, but you also can't wait forever. So here's the simplest timing framework I know. Number 12, I call this the ready risk window check. Before a big move, ask, am I prepared enough to execute? What's the downside if I'm wrong, and can I survive it? Is the opportunity open right now, or will it be open later? This stops you from rushing into things that cost you peace, and it stops you from waiting so long that life passes you. Number 13, leverage. Stop trying to win with sheer force. Most people try to change their life with intensity. They do a big push, burn out, and then disappear. Strategic thinkers look for leverage, small moves that create big results. A lever is anything that multiplies your effort, a routine that makes success automatic, a system that makes consistency easier, a tool that saves time, a relationship that provides insight, a skill that increases income. So here's where leverage becomes personal. Write 4 categories. First category, time. What can I automate, delete, batch? Second category, skill. What one skill would change my income or confidence? Third category, network. Who already knows what I need to learn? Fourth category, assets. What can I build once that pays repeatedly? And then ask, what is my one best lever right now? 1, not 10. The goal is not to do more. The goal is to do less. That matters more. Number 14, influence without being fake. Let's keep this clean. You don't need to manipulate anybody, but you do need to understand people, because a huge percentage of your outcomes are shaped by what you tolerate, what you communicate, what you negotiate, what you allow, what you repeat. Strategic communication starts with listening, not waiting to talk, listening to understand what matters to them. Here's a simple approach. Number 15, understanding the driver of the question. In any important relationship or conversation, ask yourself, what is driving this person right now? Is it fear, respect, security, control, belonging, pride, uncertainty? When you understand the driver, you stop taking everything personally, and you start responding with clarity. And here's the ethical line. You use understanding to build solutions, not to exploit weaknesses, because real influence compounds when people trust you. Number 16, what to do when life changes the rules. A strategy that can't adapt isn't strategy, it's fantasy. Life will change the rules. Your plan will get interrupted. Your schedule will get hit. Your emotions will flare up. So you need a system for pivoting without panic. Number 17, recalculate, don't collapse. When something goes wrong, do this. Name the new reality, no denial. Preserve the mission, why you keep moving. Change the route, adjust when necessary. Take one stabilizing action today, small but real. Most people fail in chaos because they treat disruption like proof of failure. Strategic people treat disruption like data. They recalibrate. Number 18, execution, the bridge between thinking and winning. Now let's land this. A strategy that stays in your head is entertainment. Execution is the lifestyle. But execution doesn't mean do everything. Execution means do the right things consistently enough that your life has no choice but to change. Here's the simplest execution system I've ever used. I call this the daily one move. Every morning decide, what is the one move that makes today a win? Not 10 moves, 1. Because one real move per day is 365 moves per year. That's a different life. And at the end of your day, you do a quick debrief. What did I do right? What did I avoid? What do I need to adjust tomorrow? That's the loop. That's how you become somebody who improves automatically. Not because life got easier, but because you got clearer. So, in closing, you're not stuck, you're unstrategic, and that you can change. Let me say something directly. If you feel stuck, overwhelmed, behind, frustrated, it doesn't mean you're incapable. It usually means you've been living without a strategy. You've been living off feelings, pressure, and survival. But strategic thinking is learnable. And once you learn it, something changes inside you. You stop being surprised by yourself. You stop being owned by the moment. You stop making decisions that trade your future for relief. You start pausing, seeing, choosing. You start moving like a person with a plan. So here's what I want you to do after this video. Pick one area: your money, your health, your relationships, your work, your focus, your self-respect, and write your endgame sentence. Then reverse the movie into steps. Then choose one lever. Then commit to one daily move. That's strategy. And if you do that long enough, you won't just understand strategic thinking. You'll become the kind of person who can't be easily thrown off anymore, because you'll stop living by chance and start living by choice.